As you know, a lot of times there are people out there that have great new, fresh ideas that we need to hear from. And that's why I chose these three folks to be a part of this panel with us. I'm going to let them introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about them and what they've accomplished. And you can go ahead, Miss Watterson.
Thanks. That's what happens when you sit next to the seat with the microphone. I'm Crystal Watterson. I'm the Chief Financial Officer for Greater American Roofing. We are a family-owned business that has grown pretty rapidly. We have offices in Georgia, Kentucky, and Indiana.
Hey everybody, my name is Paul Swingle. I'm the Vice President of Lucent Energy Management. Our focus is solar, and I'm a Tesla certified installer. For any of you that have questions, I'd love to talk later.
Real quick, don't hold on a second.
Yeah.
So Paul builds beautiful Tesla roofs, and Mr. Elon Musk, tell us a little bit about what happened.
So we've been submitting a ton of our work on social media, and we know Elon pays attention. He retweeted a tweet of ours, and then we have another installer in Texas.
Yeah.
And he's retweeted two of their tweets. So he's starting to
Good
pay
stuff.
attention to what we're doing in the roofing industry directly.
You know what? How important? We'll get to a lot of questions, but real quick, how important has social media been to your business?
You know, it's huge. I'm fairly ignorant personally to leveraging social media. I'm a roofer. I do it with my hands, and we had to really bring people on board intentionally to develop what we do inside of social media now. So for those of you that are considering it or worrying about the budget, don't. It pays its bills down the road. So definitely invest in social media.
Last, we've got Mr. Raymond Wendell Little. Nobody's ever seen him before.
My name is Raymond Little. I'm the co-founder of Perimeter Roofing. I actually run the sales team there for the last 7.5 years, and we did about 181 million.
Question. Right down there. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. I run the sales team, so I'm out climbing every day, training guys in multiple states. Like I said, one of the co-founders, and yeah, I'm just out there doing adjuster meetings, climbing roofs, selling still, just leading by example, doing nothing really special, but just climbing and selling and training.
Tell me, a lot of people know you from the State Farm video, and that's roughly 150 million people have watched that video.
Yeah, I think around about.
Tell us a little bit about your thoughts. You don't have to be disrespectful to the insurance company. I know you won't be, but I don't want anybody to be disrespectful.
Yeah, no. I'm with State Farm, so.
Oh yeah. But
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your experience in this market with insurance so far this year.
I mean, if in all, in everything, repairability is where it's at. Spread out damage, repairability. They're pushing back a little bit, but jump through the hoops. Do what they ask, send the emails, answer the questions they're asking for, provide the information that they want, right? If the damage is spread out and it's not repairable, it's discontinued. I mean, you just got to jump through the hoops to get the homeowner involved, and, they're going to write that check, but don't give up on it.
Have you seen that improve since your video?
Yeah, I mean, that's every day. That one just happened to get caught. But, it has improved. I mean, as contractors, we need to take responsibility of what we're signing up to, Make sure it's not repairable and make sure the damage is spread out, or go knock the neighbor. Quit trying to get it bought for one shingle that's repairable. We're the ones messing the industry up. It's our responsibility, to sign the right stuff.
Amen.
Get an amen for that. Awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and we'll start with you since you've got the mic in your hand. I don't know can somebody from my team come and help me with this clicker here? But I'll go ahead and ask the question real quick. What was the catalyst or turning point in your career when you decided to be in this industry or start your own roofing business?
Well, I was with one of my friends, and like I said, he's a great dude. Justin Simpson got me into roofing. I ended up meeting my partner now. Todd, I ended up meeting Todd with Justin. I was at True Tech Roofing, great company. About 100 companies spun off that one. Yeah, Justin went in a different direction. You know, we all were in a learning phase there, learning about workers' comp, learning about, you know, different stuff, because we were all we were just out there knocking doors and building a lot of roofs. You know, we didn't know the business side of it. So, like I said, me and Justin are still great friends now. We're about to reunite on some projects. Yeah, I mean, that's the only reason I ended up being, you know, an owner, you know. And then, you know, after about 3 years of being an owner, I just wanted to be a sales rep again. But I'm stuck here. I'm stuck here, and I'm truly blessed. You know what I mean? But
how many owners are in this room? How many sales reps or salesmen? Yeah, there you go. Awesome.
So I mean, I'm an owner, but I mean, I still climb and sell every day. You know.
I know. I've been out there with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, don't get stuck on, you know, you're an owner. You better lead by example. You better duplicate yourself. That's what I was telling me and TJ were talking the other day. You know, you got to look at yourself as the owner. If there's 10 of you, would you have a successful company? And the answer is no, then you need to do something different.
Hot dog sales.
That's it, man.
All right.
Climb and sell.
Paul, go ahead. Tell us what was the catalyst or turning point in your career when you started to be in this business?
I started at 13. I was picking up shingles on job sites, working for a football coach, and I worked my way into a crew, and I literally started with my bare hands just to make a couple bucks after school.
You still use your bare hands every day?
Every day.
Every day.
What happened for me was I didn't own the technical side of my trade. And I joined the Marine Corps, took a little hiatus chasing bad guys, had a lot of fun. When I came back from that, I was a true technical professional at my skill as a Marine. But I didn't have that in roofing, and it was easy for me to come right back to roofing. So I did, but I focused all of my attention on being a technical performer. You know, if an inspector comes, whether it's a local building inspector or a manufacturer's inspector, I want to have every single answer so he doesn't question what my men have done on this roof. And, you know, for me, that's the catalyst. It was just a personal decision that I wanted to be as proficient as a roofer as I was as a Marine. So for me, that was a change.
Awesome. Crystal, tell us.
So I wouldn't say I chose this industry. It kind of chose me. In 2017, I found out that I had breast cancer, actually. And so, yes, people do survive. I had a very long career in the hotel industry. At that time, my job throughout pretty much my entire career with Marriott was to remodel hotels, right? So my job was, if there was a Marriott hotel that needed renovation, that was assigned to me. I managed the project, I hired the contractors, I managed the budget, all of those things. So I understood the construction side, but my husband and my sons had decided to start another business, which happened to be a roofing company. And I retired and took a few months off, and the next thing I know, I couldn't stand what I saw. There was things, they're extraordinarily technical, but their processes were lacking. And for me, that's just a big no. I can't stand to see people without processes. So I kind of stepped into a role that didn't really exist and started organizing and creating processes and helping them really streamline the business and just using tools and technology and, you know, kind of change the trajectory. I can't even talk, sorry. Kind of change the trajectory in a way that was, they were already on the right track, but, you know, needed those processes into place. So everything that, you know, Pete talked about up here, he's dead on. I mean, it all fell in line, and it was really something that I'm in sync with.
Yeah, you know what, that process is the biggest point or biggest thing in all of our industry that a lot of people miss. Mm-hmm. So thank you for that. Actually not Raymond, Paul, what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced while you're starting out with roofing, and how have you overcome them?
Oh man, starting in roofing, the biggest challenge was my age probably, but as I've developed, the bigger challenge is bringing on technical professionals, I think. I would say there's not a huge respect for owning every bit of information in your skill set, but I'm surrounded by professionals in this room who have volunteered to come here today because you need that little bit more. You want that little bit more. Staffing is always a huge issue inside of what we do, and I'm very thankful that there's a ton of roofers in this room who showed up today because they give a shit. That's literally why all of you are here. You care about something more than the guys that are out beating the pavement right now that aren't here. And so for me, I think the best way to answer your question is that way.
Applause to everybody in this room, yeah? Raymond, how important are mentors to you? Have you had any mentors or role models who have helped you along the way? I know you do a lot of mentoring with a lot of people, including me. I look up to you personally.
Thank you.
But I also know that you have people you look up to.
Yeah, I mean, I look at industry people that are doing it doing it better than me or doing more numbers than me. I'm looking at the 100 million year guys. We'll see what they're doing. Kurt Linnington's a prime example of.
How much are you guys going to do this year?
53 million. So, they're 80 to 100 million dollar guys, and Matt Spanton is I talked to him a good bit. I talked to Kurt, some, but they're doing 100, 150 million. So I mean, you kind of want to duplicate yourself to what they're doing, right? I mean, it's not rocket science out here, yeah, I mean, it's good. I think, healthy human beings, disciplined human beings are successful human beings, financially and, outside of work, inside work, just staying, following the people that are doing the right thing, man. Follow the people that are actually doing it. That's why I look up to them. They're leading by example. They are selling the jobs, or running the teams that are selling the jobs. They built these huge teams that are multi-states. They're actually doing it. They're selling it. They're getting it approved, and they're putting it on. So that's who I'm following. They double my numbers every year. You know what I mean? So
right.
I mean, they're setting the precedent high.
How many? I saw a number the other day. How many people have sold over $1 million this year so far on your team?
I think on our team so far, I have to look at Facebook real quick. I think 8.
Yes,
yeah.
I saw like 9.
Eight or 9 already. We'll probably have around probably around $20 million producers. Some will be multi-million. Evan's about to hit. I think he's at $1.5 million. So we'll probably have some $2 or $3 million producers this year at our team, and we just do shingles. It's all residential. But I mean, we hold the bar high. I mean, if you're going to be a beast over on our team, you sure enough better show up.
Right.
So.
This one's for all of you guys. If you want to pass that to Paul there, if there's one thing that you can undo, if you could turn back the hands of time, with regards to your business or career, what would it be?
If I could undo one thing, I'd probably never left the state of Florida. If you really want my honest opinion.
I can't wait to move there.
I love roofing in Florida. So many people treat it as a challenge, but I absolutely love roofing in Florida. That's the one thing I would change. I'd live there and I'd never move.
A lot of people in Georgia are like, oh, a lot of you guys want them to move to Florida. What about you, Crystal? What would be your turning point, or excuse me, what would you turn back and do again?
I wouldn't necessarily say for me that it's roofing industry specific. I think it's more of doing something or staying in a position of doing something longer than you should. Sometimes that it's time to move on and time to do something else. Whether it's you feel unfulfilled, there's a void, whatever it is. I think listen to your gut, because if I could undo one thing, it's I worked in corporate America for years. I am not a corporate America person. I detest everything about it. It's just not for me. But I did it for a lot more years now that I look back at it than what I should have. So listen to your gut. If you know it's time to do something else, or that you aren't doing what fulfills you, I think it's your time to undo it right then.
Nice. Raymond.
I mean, I don't have any really regrets or anything like that. I mean, we've been on a rocket, I mean, I haven't been doing it that long. I've been doing it about 7.5 years, and we're at 180 million. So I don't have a lot of complaints, because even the problems only lasted a couple of days. and we were able to pay people to fix them or work through them really quick, so we had no choice. So I got kind of thrown to the wolves. My original team, some of them I've seen them leave and not do so good. So any regret I have, not regret or anything, it's sad to see, where some of them ended up, and I know where we could have been, if they could have listened a little bit more and paid a little bit better attention. If we could have started with have all my guys that left and they didn't do as good, but that's only, I look now, I'm like, dang, dude, what if that dude would have built a 30-man team, I'm fine, you know what I mean? But, it'd been great to, kind of close all these chapters with the original team, and I think that'd been pretty cool.
Awesome. Paul, how do you stay motivated during difficult times, and what advice would you give others in this room who are struggling to stay focused on their goals?
Write them down, number one. I think that when you commit your goals to pen and paper, there's some ownership there. Tell somebody your goals so that there's an accountability piece. That's the first part of the question again, TJ.
How do you stay motivated during difficult times?
Oh, man, it's easy. I have 7 kids, so I have 7 reasons to get my rear end out of bed every single morning.
I think Paul wins the amount of kid awards today.
I love being a dad.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my.
Never mind, Paul. Sorry.
I'm catching you, though. Don't worry about it. No, it's easy for me to stay focused because I know where I want my kids to be one day. I know what steps I don't want them to repeat in my own, and I think a lot of us share that sentiment. So for me, my motivation sits in my house every single day.
Nice. Crystal, what about your team? Any tips for hiring, training, or retaining employees?
Pay them and do it immediately and do it on time and do it fairly. I can't tell you how many sales reps have come to our organization and their number one story in the interview that they are telling us is, this company owes me $70,000. This company owes me $36,000. Pay them. So, if you're talking about retaining people, it's you have to pay people. I think in terms of recruiting, training, these to me are all they're 3 separate things. People lump it all together into one, and they're 3 very separate things. Recruiting people is very different. I think you have to understand how someone is hardwired to figure out if they're right for the role that you're trying to shove them into, right? As a matter of fact, what I have found is most really good salespeople are horrible at back-end processes, right? They are not going to do the paperwork. They don't want to do it, right? They don't want to do it. But so why box them into that? Why take a $1 million producer or $2 million producer and put them in a situation where they want to leave your company because they don't want to do these back-end processes? It's not their thing. Let them sell. Let them bring the leads. Hell, hire an assistant for them if you have to, right? But you have to know how they're hardwired before you know if you're putting them into the right role in your company. We personally, Alan and myself, there's a tool called Right Path. We've all taken it. Everybody that comes into our company now takes it. You can go online and buy, a package of Right Path assessments, whatever. Everybody may have their preference. I just happen to like that one because I think it's the only tool out there that tells me how someone is hardwired. You can take it today and you can take it 6 years later, and I promise you, because I've done it myself, I promise you that how you were hardwired 6 years ago is how you are still hardwired now. Right. So I think it's really finding, a way to assess, are you putting the right people in the right role and not burdening them with things that they're not going to excel at no matter how much training you give them.
I'm gonna ask a question that's not up there right now, but how important is it for, as 1099 owners, for you to actually go over the contract with the sales rep?
Extremely. I tell them from the very moment that they walk in, and I have a mixture. We have a mixture of W-2 sales reps, and we have 1099 sales reps. It is a choice that they get to make when they come into the company, depending on what their goals are. But I think I tell them all from the very beginning, it's so important that you go over this contract. This not only protects me, this protects you. If you decide you're not happy here, I don't want you to stay, but I want you to know what you're owed when you leave, right? And so we do go over the contract with them. They know what to expect. They know if they leave and they have jobs still out there up in the air that haven't been finalized, what portion of that money are they owed and what they should expect to walk away with. But it protects both sides. I'm not only in this for me, I'm in it for them as well.
I think that a key thing here is that if you've got that contract and you're giving it and you're going over it, then you're educating them on how to achieve that money as well.
Absolutely. You wouldn't believe well, you probably would. Every one of you have probably experienced the same thing. The number of people that have came to us and said they never had a contract with a previous company, I'm astounded. So how can you tell me that that company owes you $70,000 if you didn't have a contract with them, right? Yeah. You left feeling that they owed you money, but there's no contract that specifies what they owed you. But it happens a lot. I mean, the majority of people that come in say they never had a contract with anyone.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Raymond, can you share one memorable mistake or a failure that you've experienced, and what did you learn from it?
Well, I'll kind of bounce off that 1099 thing.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, don't buy your 1099 shirts or door hangers. So
Yes.
don't do any of that. Because you'll get sued for $250,000, and Department of Labor will come, and fine you. But I mean,
has that happened to you?
Yeah, 100%. Bought some of my door hangers, got sued. So you got to understand what a 1099 is. All my guys are 1099. They're all their own company. I'm here to do their warranty and their install, and they rep the brand. I'm here to provide them an opportunity to sell. With thousands of reviews. I'm here to do their install. I'm here to assist them. All they need to do is sell, upload it, and let's go to the next one. So we're partners. We're 10-50-50. We're partners in this project. So,
is there somebody that you would recommend people in here that talk to for contract law, or?
I mean, Jason Black, my attorney. But yeah, I mean, you just understand it. If you're running I understand and educate your guys. All my guys they're their own company. We're in this together. And I think that's why we do so much of money, because I treat them, we're partners. Every one of my persons is a partner. They have their own workers' comp. I pay their company. I don't pay them individually. And they sell all day long, and we build all day long. And, we're in it together. Nobody works for nobody over here. I'm just like they are. We're in it, I don't know. I think a lot of people that get the owner mentality is, you work for me. I correct people even on Facebook. Oh, I want to come work for you. Ain't nobody over here work for me. We work together. So you need to keep that attitude. You'll have a successful, system. So.
Awesome. Paul, what do you think are the most important qualities or habits for someone who wants to achieve success in their own life? This will be for all of you.
Man, we could go a lot of different ways with this, TJ.
Well, hopefully we'll go at least 3 ways.
I already said earlier it's important to write your goals down. There's a bunch of people who speak on these kind of subjects. I'm a roofer. I talk about roofing. An important habit for me is, one, being an intentional decision maker. Another important habit that I have is I understand the legal implication of the decision I'm about to make. And right now I'm talking about roofing. If you don't understand the legal weight of the decisions that you make, you should take a step back and study those implications, because things like deductive change orders or I'm so sorry, Mr. Roofer, but you are now off my job, they can happen like that. So for us, the discipline and habit to know my trade from a technical perspective and understand the legal implications on my decisions are probably two of the biggest habits that I have that not just keep myself successful, but keep our company very successful.
Nice. Crystal, what do you think some important qualities or habits for someone who wants to achieve success in their own life?
Tell yourself you can do it. Tell yourself you can do it. I think, and I lived this life for a little while where I would tell myself, oh, I don't know if I can do that, right? I don't know if I can do that. I don't know anything about that, so I don't know if I can do that. You have to tell yourself you can do it, right? Big risk, big reward. But tell yourself you can do it. You have to have the right mindset. You know, every event you go to, there's going to be somebody there talking about mindset and, you know, all of that jazz. And it's not something that I study, and so I won't go into it because I'm definitely not the expert. But I will say that you have to have the right mindset, and you have to be able to tell yourself that you can do it. As Paul said, you know, you're writing down goals. If you don't write them down, that means you don't know what your goals are. You don't even have a clue what your goals are. So I think just, you know, having that mindset of I can do this. There might be some struggles and some bumps in the road, but I can do this, and having the right mindset to put your goals down. If you have a goal, what I've actually realized over, you know, my long life, if you have a goal, you can actually back end a process to reach that goal. It doesn't even matter what the goal is. Like, it's really true. Your goal is to be a $2 million producer. It's so easy to reverse engineer how to reach that. But the problem is, you don't tell yourself what your goal is.
Right. Raymond, same to you.
I go on this for about 12 hours, but I'm going to keep it short. So,
Anybody got 12 hours?
so I'm going to be honest with you. If you're on my sales team, you know, and we're not for everybody, man. So, I mean, we want ultra high vibration individuals that's not scared to put the work in. We do have $2-3 million producers here, and we have for 8 years, every year. We double our numbers almost every year. So the environment here, you're a subcontractor. If you're killing it Monday through Friday and you're throwing it all the way on the weekends, partying, getting drunk and all that, you will not do business with us. I only want, you know, healthy people around me. My sales team is a reflection of me. So, you know, I race mountain bikes on the weekends, long distance endurance stuff. I don't drink, haven't drank in 11 years. But like I said, if you're not the 12, 14-hour guy or girl that's wanting to do better in your life, you know, have healthy relationships outside of roofing while you're at roofing. If you're not doing the right thing on Saturday or Sunday, you know, I always tell everybody you need to have goals in your hobby. You need to have goals in your you know, at home. You need to have goals at work. And you need to be constantly killing all of them. You need to have 30-day goals, 60-day goals, 90-day goals. You know, I always tell my guys when they first get here and they start getting 2 or 3 roofs a week, I said, now go ahead and buy that truck you can't afford, you know, because that's going to keep you focused. That $1,500, $1,800 car payment is going to keep you focused. So, we shoot for the stars, you know, over here. But like I said, if you're not a healthy individual, I don't want you on my group me. I don't want you on my sales team. If you're toxic, I don't care if you sell $4 million a year, you're not going to be here. Because I'm responsible for all these people, you know, that all their stuff gets paid, you know, all their homes, their, you know, everything gets paid. And I'm not going to have one person. I don't care if you do sell $3 or $4 million a year. If you're toxic and you're bringing down that whole environment, I've learned over the years now, I'm going to let you go. I don't care what you sell. I had somebody tell me the other day, but what are you going to do with it? So look, if you sell $2 million a year and you leave, I'm still going to do $51 million. So cry me a river. But you're not going to bring everybody else down with that bad energy. I'm all about good energy now. I've already met all my goals. My next goal, all my material goals and financial goals, they've all been met for me. My next goal is to get my team to the next level so I can exit and they can have this baby themselves.
Nice.
So.
That's great. Paul, what are 1 or 2 must-have tools that you'd recommend to the audience to run their business more efficiently? That's coming. Maybe.
I'm going to plug
there you
Roofer in here real quick, but I'm not bullshitting, guys, when I tell you that Roofer's a big part of what we do. We're Tesla Solar Roof installers, so we're precision installers all the time. And I like having a partner in Roofer that I can rely on for the data that I need. I know it's accurate, and it's real fast. The price point you can't beat. Roofer has definitely, we've been partners now since the very beginning. I met Richie shortly after he started Roofer. And I cannot say enough about this organization.
Let's talk about that real quick, because not a lot of people know the love that Richie has for the roofing industry, right? Richard Nelson is our CEO. He's the reason that I'm at Roofer, and every other employee is here as well. But I think that he doesn't get enough credit for the love that he has individually for every roofer that comes to our platform.
Hey, Richie, I don't know where you're at.
He's not here. He's not here.
Well, when you watch this, guys, this is what you should know about Richie. When I first talked to him years ago, I interviewed him on the phone. I called him directly. I said, I want to talk to the owner, nobody else. And he was rigid on one thing. I want to be an affordable solution for roofers, and I want to be a progressive solution. I want to constantly create new tools that roofers can leverage to save time and money. So I said, okay, well, the first thing that touched me was he wanted to marry himself to a price point that was affordable. This guy hasn't raised his prices at all.
We actually lowered them.
Yeah. I mean, it's astounding in our industry. We're surrounded by folks who have done extremely well, right? We can't all be Ray, okay? There is one Ray in this world, and hopefully there are many more sitting in this room. But, you know, there's only one Richie, and that's why I chose him. I had already been in business with the Eagle Views of the world and other competitors inside of this space. I know that's a bad word in here. No, I'm just kidding.
You know, everybody can be competition or they can't be, right? Yeah.
Richie tells the truth, guys. He doesn't have an agenda. He has investors that he's responsible to, so he keeps his thinking laser straight so that those investors continue to put money in the pot that he needs to develop more tools for us. We have talked about idea after idea after idea, and I've watched this man develop them for us over several years. But if you're not in with Roofer, you need to be on board with Roofer. That's my plug.
Crystal, same thing. What are one or two must-have tools that you'd recommend?
I think you have to know your process, have your process written down, and then you fill in the tools that basically make your process work. For us, Roofer's a big part of that. We actually used Roofer much earlier on. I have a lot of rural areas that we have, and sometimes to no fault of theirs. I mean, we've experienced it with a lot of measurement providers. Just those areas aren't easy to always get pitch measurements and things like that. We kept in contact with them, and when they were able to tell me that, hey, we're where you need us to be now in these areas, we immediately came back. But it fits our process. That's the point. Roofer fits our process. Our process includes, we have to have a measurement tool, but we love all of the other things about it. We love the proposal tools and all those things. But the whole point was it enhanced a process that we already had in place. I've had two people today tell me that they don't have a CRM. That blows my mind. I don't know how you operate in this industry without having some kind of a CRM. I don't care what the CRM is of choice for you, but you have to have a CRM. How are you tracking what's happening with your leads? How are you tracking what's happening with your customers? How are you tracking what's happening when you build a job if you don't have a CRM? So, there's, to me, first and foremost, the most important thing is to write down your process. So that's a tool. Believe it or not, a process is a tool. And then you can pile tools on top of that to enhance that process. And that's where things like a good CRM and Roofar come in.
Nice.
I think, with the technology, I implemented I have a call center now that I built in-house. So
it's not just any call center. Right.
Yeah, no, it's not just any call center. yeah. So it was a process. It was my second time, trying to build one out. I figured out what I have to do to my team to bring the numbers up this year. Numbers don't change just because it's 22 to 23. That AccuLinks that CRM goes blank. At the beginning, January 1st. So I was like, what am I going to implement this year to bring the numbers higher? So I had Daniel build out a call center for me. It's all in-house. All of our marketing is actually in-house. But we built out a marketing and call center, and it provides about 50 to 180 leads a week for my team. So reinvesting back into the, don't buy that house just yet. invest money back into your company. Like I said, people see some of the stuff that we have now, but they don't realize the millions and millions we spent back into developing, perimeter roof into what it is today. Yeah, spend the money, but don't spend it, on stuff that doesn't make you more money until you got real money. But that call center is pretty legit situation. Hats off to Daniel. We implemented. We got South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee, and we're just dialing in 2 states right now. And yeah, it's bananas, man. I mean, we ran up 187 leads in a week. We're closing about 21 to 30% of them. So I pretty much paid for that thing in about 4 weeks.
That's 50 roofs.
Right. And we build about 50 a week. So, yeah, it's man, like with I got Randy back there. He's one of the big leadership. Anthony right here, big leadership roles here, running teams. Anthony was under the Athens market, and Randy's a big manager over in Alpharetta, and the head manager over there. And it gives them an opportunity. It's not just about leads. It gives them the opportunity to train new reps, right? Because before the call centers, it was up to Randy or Anthony or whatever to go and generate roofs for them to climb to train on. So it's not just about the leads, it's a training tool too. So man, y'all gotta think outside the box, man, and follow the people that are actually doing it. So I know people sell you this, sell you that, do whatever. The only reason I don't use refer is because mine are paid for by the supply house. Or I'll be supporting the cause because TJ's a big part of my life. We actually talk outside of roofing a lot.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he's like, that most people that talk to me have to pay me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have a cup of coffee with somebody talk about roofing when I done did $180 million. I'm not gonna teach you everything, I mean, it is what it is. But you said you come sign the subcontractor agreement down at Perimeter Roofing Office, I'll teach you. But no, I'm just kidding, man. No, I answer hundreds of messages and Facebook Messenger. I can help you as long as I'm not on a roof. I still climb every day, so y'all work with me. If you want to send me a message, I'll do the best I can to help you. But yeah, man, just think outside the box, man. You're gonna stay ahead of the game. Spend the money, build the call centers, do the SEO, pay per click, Google, Google guaranteed or whatever. Spend the money.
This is going to be one last question for all 3 of you guys. Hand it off to Paul if you don't mind there for just a second. What's a piece of wisdom or advice that you can give to there's 100 people in this room right now that want to take a piece of advice back with them today?
The Marine Corps taught me a lot of stuff, but one really cool thing it taught me was how to plan for failure. If my plan was always to mitigate failure, then I wasn't going to miss something behind me. So I've carried that into what I do, not just in roofing, but in my personal life. I'm going to succeed. I'm going to win. I have that will, and I have that focus. I think what a lot of people forget to do is look at the back end. Plan for failure so that when it happens, if it happens, you have a plan. You can deal with it. It's just another problem on a Monday or another problem on a Tuesday. But if I could give you one piece of advice, make sure you have that plan.
Awesome. Crystal?
I think check your mentors. Who are you looking at? Who are you watching? Who are you trying to emulate? Right? There's a lot of people that run around this industry, a lot of them that say they do this and they say they do that, and what you'll find behind closed doors is often they haven't done any of those things, right? So who are you following, who are you watching, and who are you trying to emulate? Make sure that those people really actually know what they say they know. Make sure they can really actually teach you what it is that you want them to teach you. So just know who you're following and find yourself a mentor that truly knows or has the knowledge to provide to help you get to where it is that you're trying to get to.
Awesome advice.
I think if you're an owner or a manager, or I don't know how big some of the companies are in here, but if you're in a leadership role and you need to learn how to win on your own, and if you're currently losing in your personal life, you're going to be a loser at work too. So you need to learn how to win 7 days a week and duplicate yourself, because if you're not, then what product are you putting out there? the whole thing about running a winning sales team or a profitable, successful company is if you're you know, the CEO or you're the owner or you're the sales manager or whatever, you know, you're duplicating yourself. So if you're half stepping, guess what? Your team's gonna be half stepping, your company's gonna be half stepping. You're only as good as, you know, you lead from the front. So when you're building a team, man, I mean, like I said, you need to be winning, you know, 7 days a week behind closed doors, too, because people spot that. You're not gonna have a bunch of smart people, you know, selling with you. You know, if you're not winning, you know, nobody's coming to save you in this industry. You'll get knocked off. You're gonna get knocked off so quick if you drop the ball. If you were a sales rep and now you're an owner, you were good at being a sales rep, right? So you better duplicate yourself. It's not, you don't, owners, I work from 4:30 in the morning until 11 o'clock at night. Anybody will attest for that. And I work 7 days a week. And I'm an owner, you know, and I did really well. But I have cougar paws in the back of that Lamborghini that's sitting out there by the front door. I promise you that. And if there's 70, 80 squares to climb when I leave here, I'm gonna check my phone, I'm gonna go climb it. Somebody's gonna meet me there with a ladder. So make sure you're duplicating yourself. Make sure you're putting in the work. When you're an owner, you don't put your phone on the mantle at 6 o'clock. You do that when you're a sales rep. So remember your role.
You know what? Thank you guys for being on stage with us today and giving us all of this knowledge. I'm sure that a lot of us have taken something away. I know I did. Let's give these guys a round of applause.